What's up, the Lady Trep? You win first comment today. Jeff Walker, number 2. Vinny O'Hare, number 3. 2:30 a.m. here. Says Repeat Pro. What are you doing up so late? 2:33 a.m. in New York. Robin, what are you up to? Morning from UK. Lucy Tall, Mindy, what's up? Raven, good to see you guys. Hey, thanks so much for being on. What do you win for first comment? You win nothing, except I'll call you out. I saw somebody else do that. I thought that was pretty cool. G'day from Perth. All right, so let me turn this around. Hopefully, because I'm using something new from Tiffany over at Glitter Coach. So let me just show you this thing. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of a ring LED thing, but it's actually a case that has lights on it, but it's not on my phone because it won't fit in the holder. Love the hair. Yeah, it's going crazy right now. I've been doing this a lot tonight, and a lot of this, and a lot of this, and that sort of thing. That's weird, because I'm writing emails. So I'm writing email copy. This is a joke how good this is. Is it really? Like, this is good or bad? I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. Podcaster's Paradise, shout out, let JLD know that I said hi if he's not here. Hi from Winchester, UK, awesome, here to help, hit us with it. Okay, great guys, let's get right into it. It is currently 11:34 and I have 26 minutes left until it's time to shut down the office doors and close them. Actually, not shut them down, but close them and leave, get ready for bed. So, if you guys are interested in some of the gear I use, go to smartpassiveincome.com/periscope-gear. Periscope-gear. That'll show you the tools I use to do Periscope. So, and I know a lot of you are like, what lens do you use and all this other stuff. So, okay, let's get into this email. So, I have, actually, this will be the first time I am announcing this. So, you guys are in for a treat, and the replay viewers as well. So, I'm currently moving my list onto a new email service provider. I started with Aweber. Aweber's great. I still recommend it for people who are just starting out. Very simple to use. They're a sponsor of the show. They're great. I still recommend them, aweber.com. I then moved over to Infusionsoft, and Infusionsoft was what everybody else was using, so I wanted to try it out and see what it was like. And I tried it, and it was very difficult to use, and I ended up having to, in order to implement certain things, hire out somebody else, like a third-party company, and find other people. And I was always like annoying my friends online who were using Infusionsoft because they knew how to use it, and it's very confusing. It wasn't very intuitive to me. I mean, the fact that there are people who make a living. Actually, let me turn this mic around. The fact that there are people who make a living from teaching people how to use and actually run the Infusionsoft campaigns for people is interesting. You know, just shows you kind of what it's like, right? So yeah, some people call it Confusionsoft. I don't want to call it that because it's kind of mean. I don't want somebody calling something like that to my company, you know, smart, passive, stupid income or whatever. But yeah, they're wizards, and it was just very difficult for me to wrap my head around it. And then when I would share it with my team and I tried to get them to implement some things, it was just not anything that was, we were not happy with it. Infusionsoft is also very expensive to set up. There's a setup fee, but then actually I found that because of the size of my list, which is currently about 150,000 strong, and you guys are amazing. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed. It was actually cheaper to move over to Infusionsoft from Aweber. So Aweber, it gets to a point where it becomes too expensive when your list grows beyond, you know, 120K, for example. So some of you are mentioning that you had some of the same experience moving over to Infusionsoft, how difficult it is, so I'm glad I'm not alone there. But I know a lot of people who use it, and they love it, and it's great, and they are fine with working with other people, or they're a lot smarter than I am, and they can figure it out. I am not one of those people. So, where am I now? I am currently, no, not in MailChimp, actually. I am currently in a new platform. It's not new, it's been around for a while, but it's fairly small. And I like that because I can work directly with the owner to possibly influence the direction of it. It does have a lot of the traits of Infusionsoft that I like, the automation sequences and the if this then that, and it makes it actually very easy to do that. The way that it organizes the different buckets and you know, workflows through different emails and triggers and all those sorts of things, stuff that Aweber doesn't do, but you don't have to do right away. Aweber, again, was great for building my list, and now I'm sort of taking it to the next level. I'm actually using ConvertKit. So yes, who mentioned that? Paul. Paul mentioned ConvertKit by Nathan Barry. So I'm using ConvertKit right now, and I'm loving it so far. I am actually very impressed with how easy it is to use. I'm very impressed with the support. They're starting off small, which is great, and I feel like because I'm one of the bigger lists, I believe, on the platform, I have a little bit more say in terms of what I hope would be there, and they've made a few changes already based off of my feedback. Is it free? No, it's not free. It's more expensive than Aweber, I believe, when you start out, but it does include a lot of those things that when you start to get a little sophisticated with your email list in terms of, okay, if people download this lead magnet, for example, they go to this funnel. If they go to this lead magnet, they go to this funnel. And yes, you could kind of wrap those things into Aweber and figure it out, but it becomes confusing. ConvertKit was built for bloggers by bloggers. It does have API support, yes, and so they are very integrated with Gumroad, so Nathan has a great relationship with the guys over at gumroad.com, and they've already integrated. So I can say if people purchase the Smart Podcast Player, and I can literally select that from a down drop menu or a drop down menu here on ConvertKit, I can say if people purchase the Smart Podcast Player, they go into this funnel. And these are the emails that are there, and these are the days that they're apart, and all these things. And then I say, well, if people get the free one, they go into this funnel. And it's the emails that kind of lead people into the campaign to drive people toward the paid one, right? So they get the free version of the player, which is kind of stripped down, but every few days I'm sending them emails with lots of value, and in those emails there are pitches and links to subscribe to get the paid version, right? So I can set a rule, for example, of when people enter the free one, in one of those emails, if they end up making a purchase, they get taken off of that free list and then put in the paid one. So again, it's much easier. They are currently not directly integrated with lead pages. You can use lead pages with it, but they're in talks of integrating right now. And so that's really cool. No, I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm very happy with my move so far to ConvertKit. I've only used it for about 2 weeks now, so please, if you want to make sure that I have a true recommendation in terms of whether I like it or not, you could wait a little bit before making a switch. I want to make sure that you understand kind of, I'm in a big transition period in terms of email. I felt like over the last couple years I've been slacking big time on email, and I feel like I let you guys down, so I appreciate that. You guys are being honest with me, because a lot of you said, Pat, your emails, I haven't seen a new email from you in a while. You know, the broadcast or the autoresponders, some of your email content is old, and all those sorts of things. So again, I'm setting up on ConvertKit right now, and I'm very much enjoying it. I do have an affiliate link for it, but I'm not even at the point where I feel like I should be mentioning it right now, because I'm still using it, and a lot of you know I only promote things that I've used and have great experience with. I'm still learning ConvertKit, but it is by far way easier than Infusionsoft in my opinion. So the ease of use is so important, and some people here are mentioning that they felt like they've been losing me. And I don't want you guys to feel that, and I feel like email is a fantastic way to keep in constant contact with your audience, to deliver value over time without you actually having to do it all the time, because you can put the work up front to create those emails that go out in a sequential manner. You can send emails directly to the kinds of people you want to send. I can send emails that are directly for the people who are just starting out by figuring out, okay, well, that's the bucket that they belong to, so here are the emails that those people get, instead of before, which was just one big giant list on one sequence of autoresponder emails. And some of those emails people loved, some of those emails people hated, or they weren't relevant. So now I'm trying to get a little bit more honed in and become an expert at this sort of email thing. I'm learning a lot from my friends. Even those still using Infusionsoft, I'm learning a lot of the why behind Infusionsoft in terms of why things are the way they are, and kind of bringing that over. So I'm going to be very excited to share a lot of this with you as I learn this down the road. But here's here's kind of the plan, so you guys know. And I love this feedback. I love that you guys are talking about this, and I'm reading everything you guys are saying, and I appreciate the feedback, because you guys are helping me. I mean, it's like Ask Pat. Like, without the questions, Ask Pat wouldn't exist, and without you guys leaving feedback, whether now or later in an email or down the road, when you see that I'm veering off track of who you know I should be and the kind of value I can provide for you, when you speak up, I listen, and I thank you guys for that. So I appreciate that. So here's the deal. There is going to be a number of different kinds of web forms on my site. So let's talk about the main one. So at the bottom of general blog posts, on the sidebar, maybe on the home page, there's a form where people can leave their name and email. Now when they subscribe to that, it's going to take them to the main list funnel. I'll call them funnels for now. When they get into that funnel, one of the first emails they're going to get is essentially, hey, I want to help serve you in the best way that I can, and I need to know a little bit about you before I can do that. So I want you to answer one question and one question only. Which one of the following 3 choices best suits you? When you click on these choices, you're going to get emails that are perfectly suited to you and where you're at. Right? Doesn't that sound awesome? So segmenting right from the start. And I've considered segmenting even before people get an email. For example, you could segment in a drop-down menu when people are on your website and have them select something before they leave their email. But I want to get their email first, and I've heard Nathan was saying they've done a lot of tests on this and said that, and I love that you guys are like, awesome, great idea, right? It sounds so simple once you hear it, right? And so I'm really excited about this, and I've been working hard over the last few days just cranking out these emails, and I'll share a specific email with you in a second, which has a lot of tips on it that I think a lot of you can take away right now. So I want to give something to you, so you're going to get an insider look at one of the emails in my sequences. But okay, so people will select, and I've learned this from the survey. So the survey I recently did, it's like 12 at night or midnight, and you guys can see how excited I get about this. Okay, 120 people on, perfect. Okay, so the survey I did, I found out through the survey that there are significant large chunks of kinds of people. That sounds grotesque and when I say chunks of people, but you know what I mean. Like there are different groups of people, buckets essentially. Again, I learned this from Ask by Ryan Levesque. I now know how to pronounce his name because I recently interviewed him for the podcast. He's going to be featured very soon. So Ryan Levesque, his book is Ask. I learned a lot about how to create a survey and what kinds of questions to ask and why. And I found out that there are certain groups of people in my audience that are very large. Again, that doesn't sound right when I say it, but you know what I mean. There's not like large people in my audience, although maybe there are, but you know what I mean. There's chunks and groups of people. You guys are laughing at me. That have very specific needs that are different from the other groups. So for example, in this first email, and you're going to see this over time once I start to roll it out. It hasn't been rolled out yet. Yeah, nothing good happens after 2 a.m., right? And it is 2 a.m. somewhere. The first email is going to be like, hey, click on one of the 3 following things. I have not started my business yet. That's one. And that actually is 30% of my audience. 30% of the audience. I had about 5,500 people respond. And even Ryan said that was a huge amount of people. He has people who he's interviewed and helped create surveys that have millions of customers who don't respond that well. So kudos to you guys for responding to the survey. So the first chunk, 30% of the people said they haven't even started a business yet. So why would information about traffic generation and social media and online courses be relevant to them? It's absolutely not. So I need to take those people right from the start and put them in what I like to call the beginner funnel. And I don't want to even really call it funnel because that means it's like leading to a sale. And right now I'm not thinking about what it's going to lead to in terms of a sale, but in terms of the kind of content that they need. These are the absolute beginners that haven't even started yet. And so of course what goes along with that, a lot of the mindset stuff. Vinny's asking for the name of the book. The book is called Ask, A-S-K, period, by Ryan Levesque. His last name is L-E-V-E-S-Q-U-E. It's spelled a little bit differently than it sounds, and that's why I pronounced it Ryan Levesque before, which is totally butched and incorrect. But it's Levesque. Yeah, a tube or a box. Let's call it a box or a bucket for now. So that's the people who haven't started yet. Then there are the people who have started, and get this. This is crazy. 51% of my audience are people who have started an online business, but are generating less than $500 a month. Half of my audience has started a business and have not generated more than $500 a month. And so that's a huge. That's great insight. Like that's huge for me. And I know how to serve that group. And so if I put that group into a bucket or a box in my email list, I can just give them emails that would make sense to them or to you. A lot of you are like, that's me. And so all the advanced stuff about, super high-end backlinking SEO strategies, that's not going to be relevant for you right now. Right now, you need to focus on growth and monetization and branding perhaps and all those sorts of things. So Yes, yes, you guys are on. You guys are there with me, so that's great. And then the third one is everybody else who could use the more advanced stuff. And no, I don't want to just leave those people out. I think it also gives people who are in the first two groups something to strive for. So when they get there, that content will be available for them too. So I'm hoping this is helpful for you guys as I sort of think this out loud. And I apologize, it's not as eloquent as you know how I am on the podcast sometimes, but I'm figuring this out with you guys too. So this is a great simple way using ConvertKit, and again, all the other tools will do this. There are ways to hack your way through Aweber to do this. Infusionsoft, this is kind of what it was built for, but it was a little bit too complicated, and it has a lot of things that I don't need. Like I don't need to keep track of phone calls and all these other things about my audience. So okay, we are your bucket list. Great, this is great stuff. Okay, I'm glad this is being helpful, and you guys are kind of there with me as I'm fighting my way through this. And guys, you guys are way ahead of me because I've been doing this for 7 years. First of all, October 2008, I started my online business. Didn't even start an email list until 2 years later. Huge mistake. A lot of you know that you need to start an email list, and hopefully this segmentation stuff, this is stuff for that middle to advanced kind of group. So if you're just starting out, this might not be relevant, but maybe something to look forward to. Okay, my first breath. So, I finished about 6 or 7 emails for the people who have yet to start a business. And a lot of them are mindset based, a lot of them are here are your first steps, a lot of them are inspirational, those sorts of things. Those are what people who are just starting out need. What are your first steps? What's going to keep you motivated? How do you crank through those voices in your head that are going to try and stop you? Because one of the hardest things to do is start. And so a lot of the first emails are just me making a connection with them, not selling anything. Some of those emails I will drop in a link to join the Facebook community, to check out my resource page, to go to other things. So hopefully that helps you guys too in terms of the initial bucket. I have yet to start a business bucket. Currently I'm writing emails for the people who are making less than $500 a month. And so these are people who have started but they're struggling, they're stuck, or you just haven't gotten there yet. And the third email I'm working on, I'm not going to mention the other emails right now, but let me show you what the interface looks like. Business need the email list? Absolutely. But this is cool because I can see I'm calling this level 1 nurture. So I'm sort of nurturing this audience, and level 1 I'm just defining, and the team is defining as the people who have a business but haven't yet gotten past $500. Level 0 is the people who have 0 business, and level 2 is kind of the next level. So you can see all the emails here, and I'm kind of giving a demo. I can drag and drop these. I can reorder them really quickly and easily. Again, these are all drafted. But I love the interface here. When I scroll down, all the tools are still up there. And I'm going to read this email to you. I've read this before on the site, and my light just totally died out on me. So I'm going to do that. So this is ConvertKit. That's the new email service provider I'm using. Yeah, the interface is great. That's what Nathan's great at. Nathan has been known and has made hundreds of thousands of dollars selling books on app design and user interface and that sort of thing. Sendy, I haven't really explored Sendy too much. Yeah, ConvertKit. So anyway, I'm not going to go into details about that yet because I don't want to confuse you guys or have you guys and my light just burn out again. So I apologize about that. Maybe I have another light. This is a Manfrotto light, and I think. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't work as well as the other one did, but maybe that'll work. Experience with ConvertKit is great. I am loving it. It is doing all the things I want it to do in terms of integration and breaking things down and segmentation and triggers. Like, this is the coolest part. I have to show this to you. Okay, so there's an automations tab here, automations, and I can set rules. So if I add a rule, I can say trigger. If somebody subscribes to a course, subscribes to a forum, completes a course, clicks a link, tag. If I tag them, if the tag is removed, or purchases a product, for example, I could tap on that, and I can click purchases on Gumroad, and purchases the Smart Podcast Player subscription. Then I can say, then it will do this. Subscribe to a course, unsubscribe from a course, subscribe to a forum, unsubscribe to a forum, add a tag, remove a tag. And they're adding more things. But I love this sort of Zapier, if this then that kind of thing. Trigger, when this event happens, this happens. I mean, that is just the simplest thing I've ever come across in email marketing. How have you got existing people on your list to answer your one question? Which question? Oh, that's just going to be generated from traffic that comes on the website. what's Gumroad? Gumroad is a provider. It's essentially a shopping cart and an electronic product delivery service, kind of like eJunkie. You can upload a book there, and you can get a buy now button that you can put on your page and things like that. So yeah, the logic is very good. Response handling, it is mobile responsive. The emails are, and that was something that Infusionsoft actually is lacking, which is kind of crazy. Yes, for brick and mortars collecting emails. I mean, why not? If you come out with a new product, if it's a seasonal thing, you can send your emails out to your customers, your existing customers, give them coupons, deals, that sort of thing. If you are moving your shop, imagine trying to move without having an email list. How are you going to contact all your existing customers? You can move, and when you upgrade to a bigger shop, you can tell them where to go. So that sort of thing. Okay, I'm going to read, going back to what I was saying earlier, I'm going to read the email that is, again, for the people who have started a business that have not yet passed $500 a month. The app I was talking about, it's an email service provider called ConvertKit. Pretty cool name too. Okay, so this email is called Traffic Generation, What's Working Today. In the survey, which was very influential in what these emails were, like literally the first emails for that segment, because I've been able to find these segments in my audience, like I said earlier, and then I can actually filter out the answers from those particular people, and that is helping me guide my emails, and literally down to the words they are using in their answers. I'm using those same words in my emails, and it's been just such an eye-opening experience, for sure. So this is one of the emails. It's the third email in the sequence, and I wanted to run it by you to kind of get your thoughts on it, and some of the response from people who have been on my list before who haven't seen emails for a while, and I've been talking to them, say that the longer emails are actually okay, as long as the content's great. A lot of people just do quick bursts, and emails are just links to old blog posts, and that works sometimes, but I want to provide high massive value in these emails. So this email is called Traffic Generation, What's Working Today, and that's just a draft headline. A lot of these I want to go back and test and try the different headlines. Bob from Pitcheroos, what's up, Bob? Multiple CTAs suggested, calls to actions. Personally, I feel like 1, maybe 2 max in one email. But you always want to have a specific purpose for every single email. When you send an email to your subscribers, what do you want them to do? If you can't answer that question, or there's too many answers, you have a problem. So hopefully that helps. But again, the way that I approach email might be a little bit different than you and what your business is, so I want to make sure that that's known. In the space that I'm in, the entrepreneur space, internet marketing, I mean, you guys are getting bombarded from people, email after email, buy this, buy that, buy this. Who's here for the first time? Vivian, what's up? Thank you for coming on. And my goal is to be different. I want to be that person who provides value and doesn't ask for anything right now. It's sort of the Gary Vaynerchuk jab, 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 right hook sort of thing. And so all these emails up front are going to be jabs, relationship building, value providing, getting on some of my other social media channels, that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to read the email now. Traffic generation, what's working today? Hey, subscriber first name, and that's not what it says, but that's a little code that makes sure that the subscriber's first name is there. It seems like the best traffic generation strategies are always changing, aren't they? Now, the purpose for that is to get people to nod. This is a strategy I learned and this part isn't written, of course, but this is a strategy I learned in learning about public speaking. You want to get your audience to agree with you as soon as possible. And so this is what I'm doing here in this email, the very first sentence. It seems like the best traffic generation strategies are always changing, aren't they? And they are. And then I explain a little bit more. One day you hear about guest posting, but then everyone starts talking about how amazing Pinterest is. Then later you hear about certain plugins and tools that can help you market your content, but then you realize the more content you produce, the more traffic you get. So which is it? What are the best traffic generation strategies that are working today? What should we be focusing on? Your digital pause says, I'm nodding, so that's great. And if you like what you hear, tap the hearts. I want you guys to help me out here. Don't tap the hearts if you don't like what you hear. I'm going to use that as a gauge to see what parts of this you actually like. So which is it? What are the best traffic generation strategies that are working today? What should we focus on? I'm glad you asked, because almost every day I have conversations with other entrepreneurs about what's working for their business, and across the board, including on my own sites, the following 3 strategies are working very well right now. So the following 3 strategies, and that's another tip. Here are 3 things that are going to help you achieve this, right? And no, this is email copy, actually. So again, this is an email that you open, and it's about traffic generation, and then I say there, here are 3 things. So it's kind of letting people know that there are 3 things coming. These are going to help you. Now, I also use this next paragraph to set this up, but also include a small call to action here. 3, just for some reason, it just works really well. 2 is kind of like, oh, 1's missing, And then with 3, I love the 3 strategy where you start with a great one. The middle one is kind of your least best strategy, and then number 3, you blow them away. So that's kind of the 3 thing. So you guys like the convo leading up to the 3. Whatever you have to say about what I'm saying here is great. Any comments, I will rewatch this for sure. Not too many options, not too less. Yes, exactly. Thank you. So before I get to number 1, this is what I say. Before you read on, go into this list with the mindset that you're going to pick one of these 3 strategies and implement it. Actually do, capital letters do, the strategy so that you can see the results for yourself. Just pick one for now. Most of these will excite you. Again, I'm just like, you're going to love what you're going to see. Most of these will excite you, but if you try them all at the same time, nothing will ever reach its full potential. And then I go, add a little bit of humor, kind of, because I reference something in earlier emails that they get, and I say, where have we heard that before? Hint, in both of the previous emails I've sent you. Ha. So the agreement stuff, you guys like, and it's sort of the, before you get into the strategies, make sure, focus on one, pick and choose. Great, you guys are right there with me, so great. Who's it? Lyndon's up. Thank you for staying on, Lyndon. Lyndon, you guys got to check out their podcast. He and his wife do an amazing job. So getting people to focus. Hopefully you guys are picking up some of these strategies, not just watching me and listening to me and think and babble, but you're going to take some of these things and put them and implement them on your own, for those of you watching. Got him. Can I use your implementation lead-in? Yeah, totally. You use it. Use this. Just don't copy word for word. Take what I do and do it better. Okay, number 1. This is, again, traffic generation strategies that are working today. Number 1, the epic tutorial post in colons with video. The epic tutorial post with video. Now, sidebar, epic, I don't know if I should be using that word here. Epic is very much overused. I feel like it might give people the thought that this is going to be like a huge project that people won't want to do. This is a great strategy, and I'll share that with you, but I'm wondering about the epic part. I'm wondering if it should just be, number 1, the tutorial post with video. It seems like it's more doable that way. What do you guys think? 1, keep epic in. 2, take it out. So 1 or 2. 1, keep epic in there. 2, take epic out. Or replace it. 2, don't use epic. 2. Okay, see, this right here is the power of Periscope, people. 1, 2. Epic has been abused. Okay. The tutorial post with video. I mean, this is, again, draft form, and I could call it something else. I could make it my own, the patented, patented, no, that doesn't work, that's stupid. You don't want to get too creative. Epic is a flower power word, I love that. Power Perry, in-depth tutorial post. The in-depth tutorial post, that's pretty good. Ultimate, the complete. I think complete works because that's kind of the idea there. You want to give people something to complete. So I love that. Who said that? Ultimate, epic is trite. How about the trite tutorial? That has a nice alliteration. Magnificent, complete, complete. There are lots of tutorial posts that aren't epic. True that. Complete, essential. All right, I'm doing complete. Executive decision. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Okay, so the complete tutorial post with video. That with video part is important, and I'll share with you. Okay, so here's another strategy I'm using. And really, this strategy is a way to prime people who are about to get into something a little bit more in depth. So in this email, and again, this is something I love to do, I love to over-deliver, but you don't want to scare people at the same time. So yeah, you guys are awesome for helping me. Thank you guys. Build of Dreams said that, and thank you, all of you. So you guys, this is so cool. You're going to see this in an email sequence at some point, I'm sure. So number 1, the complete tutorial post with video. Summary. This is in italics. Summary, : select something your audience wants to learn about with a clear and definitive achievement attached to it. Create a step-by-step tutorial to teach your audience how to accomplish said achievement, and include at least one video to go along with it embedded in the post. That's summary. That basically explains the whole thing in just a summary, because again, people like to skim, and I've highlighted this part by italicizing it, and it's something that people can quickly get, people who are like comfortable with what what's going on can just be like, oh yeah, great, I got it. I don't need to read the rest of it. So that's that. And then I go example. Who's that? Is that Alex? Oh, Jeremy. What's up? Jeremy's in the house. Jeremy Franson from Internet Business Mastery changed my life. InternetBusinessMastery.com, and the podcast is awesome. So thanks, guys. Okay, so I shared the summary, and now I go into an example. Examples are great. People love to know that you know what you're talking about, or there are examples of what you're talking about. You never just, I mean, I don't want to say never, but in your emails you want to be like, hey, this is what I'm telling you to do, and see, I did it here, or this person did it there. To that achievement. Yeah, I was trying to be cool with the said achievement. How to accomplish that. Yeah, that makes more sense, so thank you for that. How cool are you sharing the email? Okay, so, and then I go example. The example's in bold because it makes it very easy in the eye. Like, okay, in each of these tips, because it's going to be the same format, let me actually show you. So it has, oh no, what happened there? So it has the bold headline, which is a tip that I learned from Greg Hickman to put in emails. So bold pops out. You can totally see that, right? The complete tutorial post with video. Yeah, bubble vision. This is the fisheye lens. It actually comes like this in your email in fisheye view. No, I'm just kidding. And then also James Clear does this very well in his emails too. So he has the post and then summary there, and then example. You see examples bolded. And then the other ones down below are the exact same way. So there's a rhythm. The eye is comfortable. Okay, ConvertKit has lead pages too. They have instructions to how to manually merge them. They are not yet fully converted or implemented with lead pages. Okay, so then I go, and here's the tip here. What time is it for me? It's a little past midnight, which is okay, but we'll finish up soon. I just want to get this post in your guys' minds and get feedback on it. Do I still like lead pages? Absolutely. It is essential in my toolbox. Okay, example. One of the most consistently popular posts over the past 2 years on Smart Passive Income is and then I link to it, a tutorial I created for people who want to start a podcast. So again, I'm using the example of what I just said, the complete tutorial post with video. According to Google Analytics, and this is the proof, the tutorial has been visited over 315,000 times, and while I'm at it, I can easily see that 2 other tutorial-style posts are in the top 10 most visited pages on the blog as well. 56% of those 315K visitors came directly from Google search. So we're talking brand new visitors to the website, and boy, what a great first impression to make. I know that sounds weird when I say it, and boy, because I don't actually say that. Maybe dude, because I say dude all the time. Looks long, but content and value. Yeah, I've done some research on older emails in my one autoresponder where I had 35 emails, and the longer ones actually got a better response. So excellent proof. It reads okay. Put dude in. Yeah, dude is me, right? That's my brand. I'm a dude. I mean, I know I'm addressing everybody else, and they're not all dudes. How about boo? And boo, like, you know, that like relationship. And boo, what a great first impression to make. Boy. Who said that? That's funny. Feels like you're getting more for your time. Yeah. Print is talking. Be authentic. Speak yourself. Yeah. The boy. I don't know where the boy came from. No boo. Yeah, I was just kidding about the boo. How about and what up? What a great first impression to make. No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, we'll go with dude for now. I'll read these. My copy editor will look at this, I'm sure. In this tutorial, there's a definitive goal. Again, I'm sharing what I just talked about in the survey. In this tutorial, there's a definitive goal. By the end of it, the consumer will have a brand new podcast live on iTunes. And again, that's important for this tip because there has to be some sort of achievement where people are like, yes, I did it. Because what happens is then people share that. They want more from you, all that sort of stuff. Mate. Yes, if I was in the UK, I would be using Mate. In the summary above, you can see that I also mention, I also mentioned that you should have at least one video to go along with your tutorial. In my podcasting tutorial, there are 6. Each discussing a specific topic within the podcasting setup regimen. It doesn't matter if there are 6 or 1 or any number in between. Have at least one, and here's why. So again, not just do, but here's why. YouTube is your friend. That's bolded. The first of my videos in the tutorial has been viewed over 156,000 times. A lot of those come directly from the blog since it's embedded within that post, but get this, 120,000 of the viewers watched the video first directly on YouTube. They found me on found me on YouTube. They found me on YouTube. That should be italicized because it's stressed. Many of those viewers continued to the website tutorial, which was linked to in the description. YouTube is a search engine with people looking for tutorials every day, so you can get in front of that traffic by creating a video teaching your tutorial too. Second largest, which word can't we stand? Regiment? I was wondering about that word too. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Marion. Who shoots my video tutorials? On that one, oh, Fleek. Yeah. Email game on Fleek, right? I'm not going to use Fleek in my emails. But okay, excellent words, great value, great. Okay, good. And you guys are enjoying the content as somebody who would potentially be reading this, right? Okay, just want to make sure. That's point number one. Point number two, videos increase the value of your tutorial. Generally speaking, when you add it, I should take out generally speaking. That's like filler word, right? Basically, essentially, generally speaking, those are words that you don't need in there. Videos increase the value of your tutorial. When you add at least one, yeah, doesn't it make it sound more like I know what I'm talking about? That's such a big difference. Videos increase the value of your tutorial. Generally speaking, when you add at least one video, or videos increase the value of your tutorial. When you add at least one video to your yeah, it sounds like I'm the authority here, right? So I got to be authoritative. So don't use those words. When you add at least one video to your tutorial, it totally increases the perceived value of it. I can take out totally too. It increases the perceived value of it. I don't mean value in terms of dollar value, since this is something you're giving away for free, but value in terms of, oh my, look at how much time and effort, and then I put the subscriber's name in there, put into this. So I do that sometimes. Sometimes it creeps people out, but this has worked really well for me, and I've actually had people respond saying, how do you do that? Or, it was really cool that you included my name in that email. So again, that sentence is, but value in terms of, I should just put wow, because I don't say oh my. That's like 70-year-old, I'm not 70. Okay, but in value in terms of wow, in capital letters, wow, look at how much time and effort Rob put into this. Okay, cool. End quotation. The videos don't have to be super produced either. Something simple and even short and to the point will do the trick. Just make sure you have decent video quality. An iPhone or Android phone is perfect. Decent lighting, natural light or LEDs are best, and good audio. And then I put a quick tip in there because I think whenever I mention like good audio, people are like, oh well, what microphone do you use, right? And so I just put a little quick tip in there and italicize. I'm going to flip this. So again, look how long this is, but I feel like this is providing a lot of value. It's going to make me stand out in this space, absolutely. So one, YouTube is your friend, yada yada yada. Videos increase the value of your tutorial. Wow, look at how much time Grandma spent putting into this. And then here's the quick tip. So are you cool with me including the quick tip? So quick tip, a great microphone for your iPhone or Android is the Rode Smart Lav. And then in parentheses I put affiliate link. It plugs right into your headphone jack. Scan power, bold, make it pop. Back to the fishbowl. Is it too long that selected funnel pack? For this funnel, these are people who are really looking for information that are going to take them to the next level. And you can't, if you really want to help somebody, you got to give them all that information. And I want to give so much. And I guess these might be potentially long, but I think that's the style I'm going for. Like I want people to be like, man, Pat's emails are long, but I read every single word. Right? That's kind of the it's meaty, right? Like it's not just like fluff or sesame seeds on the top. It's the meat, grass-fed, 100%, whatever that means, beef. Okay, so I put that in there. V2, rewrite lab, tons of value, awesome, cool, okay, good. So then I finish up saying, so try this out, and make sure to be smart, but stay simple with where you place your keywords related to your tutorial. So I'm kind of doing a little tutorial here in this email, so hopefully this shows that it's not, that I can get people to do stuff with, it doesn't have to be super long, but just very specific stuff, kind of using that as an example. I'm not going to mention that. I'm not going to be like, hey guys, can you see here that I'm writing a tutorial? So you can do it too. I think that just becomes one of those apparent things. Okay, so I say, so try this out, but make sure you're smart and simple with where you place your keyword or keywords related to your tutorial. And then I list 4 things. I say 1, the title, and then the title, title is bolded, the title of your blog post and YouTube video. For example, how to start a podcast, Pat's complete step-by-step podcasting tutorial. Number 2, the URL or web address of your post. For example, and then I list that out. Number 3, the description of your content, both in your blog post metadata and the description of your video on YouTube. Number 4, naturally within the lines of your content. Don't keyword stuff, but definitely make sure to mention it in the first paragraph somewhere. And again, naturally throughout the rest of the post. You are writing these for humans more than you are for search engines! Exclamation point. Give it a shot, and this is cool. Make sure you share it during the next hashtag Free Speech Friday post in the SPI Facebook community, and I linked to that there. So in the SPI Facebook community, there's about 15,000 people on Facebook. You can check it out at smartpassiveincome.com/community. Every day there's like a different theme. Friday is Free Speech Friday, where anybody can share it or share whatever they want. So they're going to feel like they're getting visibility. They're going to be, if they're not in already, a part of the community. They'll be reminded, if they are already, that they can share stuff, and it'll show them that there's like activity going on there. So again, that's a great way to pull people in to something where they're going to see other people involved. It's like social proof where I don't even have to do the work because they're going to be there seeing everything else going on. You should post this email on your blog, Pat. Yeah, that's the other thing. Because a lot of people ask, well, how are you deciding whether or not these should be emails or blog posts? And that's a very interesting question. I think we can maybe talk about that in another Periscope down the road, but I don't want to get off too much of a tangent. Okay, so now I get into tip number 2. Now don't worry, tip number 3 is really quick and easy, so it's not like this is going to be 3 times that. Number 2 is less information than number 1, but I wanted to hit people right hard from the start with something great. And then number 2, this is a great one too. And again, I'm missing some conversation here, but I'm going to be watching this for sure because you guys are super helpful. And again, thank you for tapping away and keeping me on. I'm just curious, how far are we from 1 million hearts? Blog post for everyone, email only for subscribers. Yes. Repurposing. Yeah, I mean, I could do it, or I could share part of it, or a part of the blog post could be a part of the email. Like I can go into 10 different tips and maybe 3 are in the email. We'll have to see. 978K. Cool. Thanks, Frugal Web Guy. I appreciate that. Okay, so here's number 2. And I'm just going to read this straight up. Number 2, guest podcasting. As both a podcast producer who conducts interviews and as someone who is often a guest on other people's shows, I'm showing that I kind of know both sides of the story here, I can say from experience and with great confidence that, bolded, get this, guest podcasting is the new guest blogging. Now, I feel like if I were to say that to the people who don't have a business yet, it wouldn't make any sense because they don't know the power of guest blogging and they've never heard it before. But I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the people who are in the, I've started a business but I haven't generated over $500 a month yet, they would know that guest posting is a pretty kind of popular method for generating traffic, right? But guest podcasting is the new guest blogging. Now, I've never been a fan of saying those types of phrases, but I feel like it works really well here. So again, I can say from experience and with great confidence that guest podcasting is the new guest blogging. Because you know when people say, Orange is the New Black is a great show, actually. But you know when they say, Pink is the new orange, or this is the new that, like, I'm not a big fan of that, but I feel like it really works here and it sticks, because that's a tweetable, right? Most people will know about guest blogging once they do their initial research. Okay, good. Sounds like Derek, but totally, okay. That's where I got that inspiration from, actually, Ariadna. So thank you for that. Everybody follow Ariadna. She's awesome. She and Michał from Poland, who you may have heard me talk about his story at Podcast Movement, they're great friends. It sticks. 40s is a new 20. That's what I'm talking about. Like, yeah. That's what I don't like, but I like guest podcasting is a new guest blogging, and again, that's bolded. So I'm glad you guys like that. It sticks. Thank you. And then I go into benefits of, well, why guest podcasting over guest blogging? And then I say, unlike writing a blog post for another site, the traffic that comes from your Spotlight feature, Spotlight interview maybe, just to be clear that we're talking about podcasting. Unlike writing a blog post for another site, the traffic that comes from your Spotlight interview will already have an amazing relationship with you, since they would have listened to your voice for a certain number of minutes. I think that's okay. Probably could be reworded to be a little bit more punchy, but I feel like it's great. But then I follow it up with, traffic from guest blogging is warm, but traffic from guest podcasting is scalding hot. Scalding hot? Scolding hot? Just hot? What do you guys think? Traffic from guest blogging is warm, but traffic from guest podcasting is blank. How would you finish that sentence? Because I kept trying to figure out what that would be. Scalding, white hot, that's cool. Piping hot, blazing on fire. You guys are hilarious. Red hot, yeah, red hot, flaming hot, smoking hot. Any of those hots do well, I think. Boiling hot, burning hot. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the long run, but it's better than scolding because nothing is actually scolding, like this kind of scolding. So thank you guys for that. Boiling. I'll use boiling for now. Blazing. Bold and make it pop. Yeah, nice. Thank you. Boiling hot. Okay. And then in parentheses, just another quick thing. And again, yes, this is a long email, but that's going to be my strategy. I want people to go, wow. Like, this is I'm kind of getting inspiration from Ramit. You know, Ramit Sethi's emails are super long, but I read every single word of them, and I know a lot of his core audience does too, because he's trained them over time to learn that every single email matters so much. And I feel like if I were to get to the point where I've trained you guys and everybody else who starts to follow my blog that these emails are completely valuable, more people are gonna open the emails. John here says his emails are super long too. And, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, I only want them to be 500 words because I'm cutting out all this stuff, right? So, yeah, pull them in, keep them wanting to react. And then, you know, when I come out with an email where there's perhaps a promotion or something timely, they're going to be more likely to open it, right? Okay. I read every word of yours because they're chock full. Thank you so much. And they're going to hopefully get better, as you could see, because I've been really failing you guys on that. So, great. And you guys are inspiring me right now. Okay. And then I add a little bit of, you know, traffic from guest blogging is warm, but traffic from guest podcasting is boiling hot. Oh, and unlike guest blogging, it's much easier and less time-consuming for you, too. An interview could last up to an hour, usually shorter, but a guest post can take hours to craft. Guest blogging used to be the #1 way to grow an audience, not only because you're essentially being endorsed by someone else who has trust with... I think I could take this sentence out. This sentence out. I think I've proven myself, right? The fact that because the voice is there. Because, okay, here's this paragraph I'm thinking of deleting. Guest blogging used to be the #1 way to grow an audience, not only because you're essentially being endorsed by someone else who has trust with a large following already, but also for SEO, search engine optimization, that comes from it. The more guest posting you did, the higher your own site could rank for specific keywords as a result of the links in the article pointing back to your site. Google has fairly recently said that the guest posting no longer affects SEO. Still an effective strategy, but I'd much rather spend less time getting warmer traffic by guest podcasting instead. Yeah, it's too much, right? Like, that's too much. I'm gonna delete those. Even just reading these out loud to you guys, I don't need that. I'm like trying to sell it too hard, but I think I've sold it already. You know, it's like when my son, he's like, "Daddy, can we go to the pool?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we could go." And then he goes, "Well, you know, I'm gonna be good. I'm not gonna run. I promise." I'm like, "Dude, we're already going to the pool. You don't have to ruin it now, right?" Okay. I'm glad you guys are in agreement with that. Good. Okay. So now I get into the, okay, well, this is all fine and dandy, but how do I do it? So I say, so the trick is, so I left the part that says, you know, it's much less time consuming because a guest post can take hours to craft. So the trick is, how do you guest podcast? How do you get another podcaster to want to interview you for their show? Here are 2 strategies you can use. 1, reach out, or better yet, build a relationship with an influential podcaster and have that person realize that you have something unique and amazing to offer his podcasting audience. Perhaps it's a particular expertise that you have that you would add value to their audience, or an amazing story that relates to what they do. They will never know about it until you make contact, so don't be afraid to start a conversation. What's the worst that can happen? They'll say no, and that's okay. Nothing will be different than before. But what's the best that can happen? A guest podcasting spot and a ton of super hot traffic coming your way. Okay, so that's that. And then number 2, this is the second strategy for getting on somebody else's podcast. Consume the content of an influential podcaster and blow them away with the results from the advice you learned from them. This is a Derek Halpern strategy. This works incredibly well because podcasters, including myself, love, all caps, to feature guests who have listened, took action, and saw results. It's a relatable story for the rest of the audience, and of course it proves that the host's material works. So those are two strategies. I mean, I could have a whole course on guest blogging and guest podcasting and connecting with influencers, but I think those two are the top two, and I feel like that that would be solid. And then tip number 3, which I'm going to get into, is one of the ones that are just like a quick hit, but it's essentially using your email list. And so building an email list to send traffic to new posts, which kind of creates this feedback loop where people who come to your post share, which bring more people into your email list. Next time you come out with a post, more people are there to potentially share, bring more people in, that sort of thing. I could also talk about the audience has asked more insight into a topic. I barely caught that. That's right. After the first draft, you'll read it again before submitting with a fresh look. Yes, absolutely. So this is great. I wrote the first draft, gone through a second time with you guys. How do you get them to share? That could be a whole another thing. I feel like I've exhausted this. It is 1,100 words. Didn't John Lee Dumas guest podcast for you? Yes, we've been guest podcasts on each other's show, and I was his first guest, actually. And a lot of people get, even though he was just starting out at the time, I've gotten a lot of great, he's obviously since grown, but I get a lot of people who find me for the first time through John, and vice versa. Don't make it too long for the sake of long, though. Right. And I feel like I could potentially take out a lot of the fluff, like we did with that generally speaking thing. And, I tend to write the first drafts, because I've been writing my book lately and very adamant on just put it all out there and then come back and edit it later. JS Mayong 55 says they found me through JLD. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so overall, what do you think about that? What are your comments? I'm not going to ask you to scale it, but just any comments you have. Is it a good email? Should it be a blog post instead? Is it too long, too short? Good topic? Anything you want to say about it, I appreciate it, and I won't be able to catch everything because you guys there's a lot of you in here. You just put the smart passive income with the scope. Great hanging out. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you. Wicked Chickens informative will be a great post. Good topic and length to me. Great. I think it's good size for content you're providing. Great, thank you. Yeah, I mean, not all of them are going to be this long, and like somebody said earlier, I'm not just going to make it long to make it long. I feel like if you try to say it's 1,000 words, for example, if the content only needs 300, you're going to extend it. It's going to be fluffy. If you say it's only 1,000 words and you need 2,000, then you're going to cut out a lot of the stuff. So same thing goes with your podcast episode length, the lengths of your ebook, and all that sort of stuff. So this is the third email that comes through. And then I'm curious. I don't know what the call to action should be for this one. I mean, it could potentially be just links to certain not high level, but other posts related to this, or obviously the best thing would be, hey, here's my traffic course or a free webinar for traffic, stuff related to this. But I don't have that, and I don't know if that's essentially going to happen. And I do have connections with people who have traffic building courses, but I'm nurturing the list, and so my goal is to keep people in my brand as much as possible now at this point. So people save good emails. I do too. Actually, I've saved all of Ramit's for sure. At to live for him said something that I missed. It's long, but content is valuable, so it doesn't matter. Thanks, Lyndon. Ask them to tell you they implement the strategies. Yeah, I mean that's good. Maybe reiterate that call to action to go back to the community to post it there. I think that would be kind of cool. At least something. So, 30 minutes past when I was supposed to start getting ready for bed. But can I keep good scopes? Yes, I think I'm going to keep this one. Do I use WordPress? Yes. How can we get you to guest on our podcasts? Send me an email, pat@smartpassiveincome.com, and I'll try to fit it in. I get literally dozens of requests a day, so it's going to be fairly difficult and competitive to get in, but we'll see. When I buy something, I save the copy to see what worked on me. Nice, I love that. I love your PC, Pat. I'm very pregnant, and your show is what I listen to when I can't sleep. Yeah, awesome. Congratulations on that, and I'm glad you're getting some sleep. I know how difficult that can be, because April definitely expressed when she was feeling pain or tired and all that kind of stuff. But, I love her, of course, for all that stuff. Moms have it the hardest job in the world, for sure. What kind of business owners do you like to have guest podcasts? I'll save this topic for later. How many emails do I get on pat@smartpassiveincome.com? About 300 to 400 a day. Jessica, my assistant, weeds out a lot of them, puts some into my urgent folder, which I know I have to answer, which I answer usually within 2 or 3 days. And I batch process. I have in my schedule actually when I go in and batch process those. So I go in knowing that that's what I'm going to do, and I'm not focusing on anything else. I literally answer emails in Gmail offline, which is an app, a Chrome extension, that allows me to be offline but still continue to answer emails so I don't get interrupted by new emails that come in. Have you ever started answering emails and then you answer one and then 3 more came in? I mean, it's such a depressing feeling. So my focus is answer this email, that's all I'm focusing on, boom. Answer the next email, get through the whole thing, and then I go back online, and so that's helping me. So I've found that I have to do a lot of these like hacks, or else I'm just going to be screwed. And I know a lot of us can relate. Some of you are great though. You can do your thing, and that's fine. You don't need these tips, but I need these tips. So a lot of you, I feel like, can relate to that. But anyway, we'll do more Q&A in the next scope, or a few other scopes. But I want to thank you guys seriously from the bottom of my heart for being here and helping me work through this email. Hopefully this shows you kind of my thinking process about email and where it's headed in the future. I'm very excited for where it's going. And hopefully you guys will see that, I'll be a good example for you in your business down the road once you start getting a little bit more advanced with your email stuff. Ethan, what's up? Glad you're here. Haven't checked out Facebook Live because I don't have access to it. I don't have a verified Facebook account, apparently. But again, thank you guys so much. Jeremy, thanks again for everything. Thanks for being here. Make sure you follow Jeremy on Periscope at Jeremy Franson. How many hours do I work? It depends. For the last month average, I would say I've been working 2 hours a day because most of the time I was out traveling or with family on summer vacation. But now, the last week I've been putting a good 8-10 hours a day because I'm really focused on these things that I want to crank out and accomplish during this time. So it varies, but the nice thing is it's flexible. Literally today we were at the pool with my kids, and we went to the mall and stuff. So I get a lot of work done before I go to before the kids wake up, and then like late at night, or not usually this late now because I'm waking up earlier. But I'm glad you guys stayed up with me. Thank you so much for those of you in the UK. Have a great day for those of you who are going to bed very soon, and I'm sorry I've kept you up. But have a great night, sweet dreams, and I appreciate you guys so much. You guys make SPI what it is, and I'm all about helping you as much as I can. And I have a lot of cool plans in the future to do even more. So thanks for sticking with me. I appreciate you guys. We are almost at 1 million, so I feel like we're going to get there tomorrow. Bless you guys. Take care. Have a